Very little is known about Deidara's early life. What we do know is that he would serve as a rogue ninja as a bomber in various countries. This will eventually gain the attention of an organization known as the Akatsuki, where they would track Deidara down. However, Deidara would refuse but would be challenged by Itachi, where he would only join under the condition if he lost. But Deidara would easily be defeated by Genjutsu. Afterwards, he would be partnered up with Sasori, where they would be assigned to eliminate Orochimaru, but would fail to kill him. Eventually being assigned by Pain to capture the One Tail, who just happened to be the Kazekage Gaara. After a drawn out fight, Deidara would be successful in capturing Gaara, but this would be short-lived when he and Sasori would be tracked down by Team Kakashi. But despite his efforts, Deidara would nearly be defeated by Naruto, who attempted to blow him up using a clay clone, but this would be reversed by Kakashi's Kamui, where he'll be presumed dead, now partnered with Obito posing as Tobi. After sealing the 3 and 4 tails, Deidara would find out that Sasuke had killed Orochimaru. Angered by this, the two would sought out Sasuke. Despite his efforts, Sasuke would push Deidara to use C0, but this would fail to kill Sasuke, who used Manda to survive the attack. Born in the rain village to unknown parents who were killed during the Second Shinobi World War, where she would be left to fend for herself, eventually being found by a boy named Yahiko, where the two would work together to survive. Not long after, she would find a dying Nagato. Over the years, the three would become close friends until they would encounter the Sanin. One of them, Jiraiya, would train the three to how to look out for themselves. Over the years, the three would eventually form an organization known as the Akatsuki. Eventually, the group would be approached by a man calling himself Madara Uchiha, who offered to help them out, but would be turned down by Yahiko. Throughout their quest for peace, Konan would unfortunately be captured by Hanzo. Yahiko would give his life by impaling himself onto Nagato's kunai. This would be the breaking point where he would slaughter Hanzo's subordinates. Accepting Madara's offer, over the years, Konan would remain as Pain's partner, eventually aiding him in the attack on Konoha, but Pain would be defeated by Naruto, where he would talk to Nagato, who in turn would restore the lives that had perished in the attack. After the attack on Konoha, Obito would track down Konan and search for Nagato's Rinnegan. After refusing, the two would do battle. Despite gaining the upper hand on Obito, Obito would reverse this with the Genjutsu Izanagi, where she would be defeated. Hey, Winter here, where I'll be pitting two artists against each other to see who will walk away the winner. Now, I won't be taking any of their showings from the manga since it's less work for me. So, with that said, let's start with our physical capabilities. But first, yeah, try topping that, Rain. Anyways, let's get on with their physical capabilities. By the time of his defeat against Sasuke, Deidara will be a 19-year-old boy standing around 5'3". From what we see, despite not having many durability feats, let alone strength, the best that we have is when he managed to free himself from parry shurikens that pin his arms down using his feet. Durability wise, he should be around the average for Jinchuriki level combatants. He remained unfazed after having his arm torn off by Gaara, as well as sniped off by Kakashi's Kamui, remained unharmed when being in close range to his explosives. Speed-wise, he kept pace with Sasuke, who at this point managed to keep pace with a holding back Itachi, who also managed to react to carrying an attack made of lightning, fused with chakra by summoning his Susanoo. By his time of her feat at the hands of Obito, Konan would be a 35-year-old woman standing around 5'7". As much as I hate to say, we basically have jack shit on her. With the exception of being a Jinchuriki level combatant, she's still the second weakest member of the Akatsuki. However, she did take a stab from Obito and continued fighting, but again, she was later easily overpowered by him. Okay, I'm not even going to be around the bush. Deidara simply has better feats to go off of. While Konan has jack squat, even though Deidara is simply a 19-year-old boy, while Konan has been in her prime for years, at least he has better feats to go off of, and strength to throw at least. Overall, he's faster and more durable. So I give Deidara the edge in physical capabilities by default. Deidara has only one special ability, and that's his explosive clay that he can use to form birds, humanoids, and insects. C2 creates a dragon that fires clay figures to act like guided missiles, but his more powerful abilities is C3 that drops a large explosive which can destroy an entire village. C0 is a suicide bomb that will wipe out anything in a 10-kilometer blast radius. C4 creates a giant Titan-sized clay version of himself which will explode, that creates micro bombs that causes the opponent's body to disintegrate from the inside out. Konan only has one ability, and that's her paper manipulation. She mainly prefers using paper shuriken at a ranged distance. She can create wings to fly and fire out projectiles or disperse into paper as a means of movement. Okay, I'm not even going to waste anyone's time here. In short, Konan is basically fuck. Sure, she can create shuriken, but what Konan can do, Deidara can do, but much more better. Deidara's birds are faster than Konan's wings. Don't even get me started on C3, C0, C2, or C4. Konan's only means of offense does not compare one bit to Deidara's explosive clay. So, in short, Deidara takes edge by default. Deidara as a companion learned to be a cunning tactician. He is shown to be observant and discreet during his first mission to capture Gaara. Furthermore, allowed him to rip off his arm to defeat him with a few explosive insects, all the while forcing him to overexert his chakra to block his C3. During his fight with Sasuke, he managed to put him at a brief disadvantage by surrounding him in mines while firing C2 explosives at him. Furthermore, figuring out his Chidori True Spirit range limit. Konan as a companion isn't really that impressive. Her only showing is setting up an ocean of 6 billion paper bombs specifically for Obito. However, Obito himself admitted that he underestimated her and easily counters this with Izanagi before he turns the fight around completely. I'm not gonna lie here, this is possibly the easiest category I've ever had break down. And I'm not even joking this time. Unlike Konan, Deidara actually has an overall more strategic mindset. So how does this change anything, you may ask? Well, it's quite simple. Konan has only one and just one offense option. Even when the tables have turned, the best she can do is attack and attack. While Deidara, when finding himself in the corner, changes up his approach from basic insects to C2. Both aren't users of taijutsu, but when it comes to range, Konan would basically be fighting someone who specializes in ranged combat. Furthermore, Deidara has been a demolition bomber for years, while Konan mainly has been Pain's partner just to be there. So I give Deidara the edge in combat skills and tactics. Let's just say after failing to recapture the One Tail from Naruto and the defeat of Sasori, Konan sees no use for Deidara and decides to get rid of him, who manages to track him down moments before he and Obito track down the Three Tails. Breaks the news that they have no use for him in his art. Konan sends off a swarm of paper bombs, but expecting this, Deidara forms a bird and takes flight. Konan forms a pair of paper wings to pursue him. However, Deidara fires off an explosive. Though she dodges, she still caught an explosion. But once the smoke clears, Deidara is cleaved in half by a large paper shuriken, having turned herself into pieces of paper before she was caught in the explosion. But the Deidara she took out was a clay clone. When it finally hits her, it's too late as a centipede wraps around her, while Deidara is safely in a tree opposite to her. It's been a blast, but I'll be off. Setting off the clay as Konan is blasted apart along with the clay bird, leaving her blade remains behind. And with that, I declare Deidara, the artist, the winner. Okay, I'm not gonna lie here, even before scripting this, not only did I know exactly how the fight would end, but I knew there was no way that this fight could ever happen. For starters, excluding the fact that Konan has no impressive feats to go off of and is basically the definition of filler. And of course, the second weakest Akatsuki member. Surprisingly above Hidan, at least Deidara has feats to go off of, while Konan only has one on-screen fight. And if you want to throw her scuffle with Jiraiya in there, that's fine, but that just also further proves my point why she couldn't ever dream of being Deidara. And don't even bring up her 6 billion paper bombs feat. That feat alone required prep time, and she wouldn't be able to recreate that. Furthermore, the only reason why she got the upper hand on Obito, and once again, as I mentioned several times on Rain's live streams, Obito flat out admits that he underestimated her. And just picture Obito fighting Konan in a fair fight. Exactly, not happening. Just like a fair fight with Deidara, the fight will be over in just a few moments. And I didn't bring this up before, but Deidara is also comparable to Sasori, who wiped out an entire country with just his 100 puppets. And this was before he obtained his third Kazekage puppet. So Sasori was weaker at the time. But aside from that, I just don't see this happening. Deidara just has way more impressive feats to go off of, and his range abilities pack a far more bigger punch than what Konan's paper manipulation is bringing. With that, I'm going to go. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if you care about that, and I'll see y'all next time.
Have you finally pieced it all together? Case closed. This is how your justice ends.
It's all in your best interest. Filling my life with this pressure. Demanding the results that you want. Yoshizawa? Could she be? And now you're all branding me a failure? Let me remind you who you're talking to. I am Kasumi Yoshizawa!
So adamant. Rather than accept a life in cinders, you'd strive towards splendor. You know the risks. Well, if those really are the shoes you've chosen, then we'll dance to the end.
This has got to be... Look at that!
I am thou art I. Accept this contract, the spell cast upon you.
I request we have a rematch. This time, I'm going all in with Cendrillon!
This is now!